Hi guys, welcome to another 7-minute Sunday.
So hey guys, Sarah and San here from Work Life Glue, back for another 7-minute Sunday where we spend about 7 minutes talking about a topic related to parenting or marriage or life in general, just things related to our channel.
Whatever's
we're all
on your
about
mind.
stuff like that.
Yes.
So today we are going to be talking about infertility, and I'm sure there's plenty of videos about infertility, but we wanted to specifically talk about life on the other side once you have children, and we'll talk briefly about
what that
our
means
history and how we came to have two beautiful daughters. But yeah, we just wanted to really speak to those who don't know a lot about infertility, or those who have experienced it or maybe are still experiencing it, and what it feels like, how you go about parenting and stuff like that when you have come out on the other side. So set our timer and we will get started while San talks about kind of our history, because he's better at condensing it.
A 50-minute video. So anyway guys, got married, wanted kids, tried to have kids, couldn't conceive for some reason, and we went to the doctor, and it basically boiled down to that we couldn't have kids. Male factor infertility,
0% morphology, if you want to Google that. And
then we're not one to sit around and not do anything, so we did some digging and some research, lots of science-backed things, and I supplemented with like vitamins, went to acupuncture, we switched our diet for a little bit there. And by an act of God and by science, I'm not sure it's probably a mixture of everything and timing, we conceived Celia, our firstborn, our oldest. She's currently 2, almost 3, in about a month or so now.
When we're filming,
when this comes out. And we didn't even try for Bryony.
Yeah, well, I mean, we obviously tried
either.
Yeah.
So I mean, that happened randomly too.
Yeah, I think
she is 3 months.
Yeah.
3 months now. So. And
I think, you know, once you've gone through infertility, if you want to have more, I don't think most people prevent, you know, you don't take, you know, because you don't want to put anything in the way of getting another.
Right.
And so we weren't trying, because trying to us was like this temperature and timing and all these food changes, and he was scheduled to go in to see the urologist again to see what our chances were, or if we would even try on our own, or if we just go to, you know, insemination or whatever, and bam, pregnant with Bryony without actively trying.
It was crazy.
Totally another miracle. Just can't even believe it.
She wasn't an oops, guys.
Not at all. Just she was a surprise that we were like planning to start trying, but like
but we were kind of just shooting the breeze, you know, like if it happens, it happens. But anyway, so what we're trying to get at is like what it's like now after going through all of that to having, like she said, 2 beautiful daughters.
Yeah, because I think
how we feel now about infertility.
I think once you get that positive pregnancy test, you know, first of all, when you think your chances are 0% and it's not been successful, the doctors have told you it probably won't happen on its own, and it does, like, words can't even describe the joy, but it's also extremely scary because there's a lot of pressure on that pregnancy to stick, if you know what I mean. And I know we've never dealt with miscarriage or infant loss, so I can't even begin to speak about that. But as far as being pregnant after infertility, it's such a joyful thing, but I think it's also very scary because what are the chances of it happening again? You know, that was in the back of my mind a lot. So once we got to 3 months, you know, when it's typically the safer zone, you know, where you're less likely to miscarriage, then I felt a lot better. But it's still, you know, and I think with Bryony, you know, we treated Celia as our first,
as like the only,
it may be the only, it probably will be the only. I mean, we didn't want her to be the only, we wanted to have more kids, but we cherished that pregnancy, we cherished her first couple years of life. We're still cherishing her, but when we got pregnant with Bryony, it was just like, wait, what? And I want to speak a little bit about not the grief, but just for me, I don't know about you, but for me, because we've advocated so much for infertility, we've been very vocal about it. We shared our journey. We've had a lot of people pray for us. We've had a lot of people come out of the woodwork and ask questions, and I've loved being a resource to them and giving hope to people, because we really like to take our struggles and make good out of them. So when we got pregnant with Bryony, without even really trying, there was just this, like, I don't know the right emotion name for it, but I just felt really sad that, like, why us? Why were we so lucky to not only have one kid on our own, but not even try and have this other one? Like, why are there all these people who are waiting for their kids, but we're so lucky? And it's been really hard both times to share the joy of the news that we're expecting, because I know it can also be very painful to other people. Once you've known the pain of infertility, you know when you share that you're hurting someone. Not intentionally, and obviously, like, they're not wishing that you're not pregnant, but you know by the news that you are. It's painful. I experienced that firsthand, just how painful it can be to see people you love get pregnant before you, or get pregnant, you know, accidentally, or you see people that should not be having kids who are, like, it's very, very hard. And so that was very hard for me, knowing that. But it also, you know, I have to look at it as we're bringing people hope, even though nobody knows the end of anybody else's story. We know what happened for us. And but yeah, do you want to speak about just, like, parenting after infertility? I think
this might run past 7 minutes, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's important to talk about.
Because it's important to us, and we hold this close to our heart.
Very close, yes.
What was the question?
What is parenting like after infertility?
I guess, so, you know, when Celia was born, it was like, we both went to, as much as Sarah doesn't think she did, like, we both went to Cloud 9, and it was like this beautiful miracle that was placed right in our laps, you know. And I still look at her and Bryony and look at them like, how are they, like, especially with Celia, like, how are you here?
He always says,
all the time. I'm like, you shouldn't be here. As in, like, get out of my house. But, like, God or science says like, or not God, but science says you shouldn't be here.
And here you are.
Yeah, and here you are. And I'm like, Sarah, we made that. You know, like, what the hell? You know?
Yeah,
and it still, like, blows my mind every day. Like, as much as, like, it's hard parenting is, and it's tiring and frustrating and a strain, I'm just like, how in the hell can I take my daughters for granted after something like that? It's just like, I mean, I know parents who don't have that issue wouldn't take their children for granted, but it's like, I value every day of their lives. I try to make it a point to be part of it. I try to make sure I give time to them, you know, when I can, while I can, with my bad attitudes or crabbiness, even then, you know?
Yeah. And I think, too, like, I think we would have loved our daughters the same amount, no matter what, but I think it just gives you a new perspective on gratitude and just how truly lucky we are, because we thought this wasn't going to happen for us. And so it just, you know, it kind of makes parenting harder because there's even more pressure on it, but it also, like, in those days when you just want to rip your hair out and you're like, why is she getting into everything? And, like, you know, why am I so tired and the baby's not sleeping, and oh my gosh, like, it's very easy to get overwhelmed. But we try to bring ourselves back to, like, what a gift. Like, it's a gift that we get to experience this. Even in pregnancy, like, honestly, I absolutely hate being pregnant. But at the end of the day, like, I always told myself, I'm so grateful to be able to experience this crappiness, because it's giving me a baby. And so many people would willingly be throwing up all day, every day, hospitalized to have a baby just so they could have a baby. And so I think when you've experienced it firsthand, you know, you can't wallow in the overwhelm of
not having,
because
or not conceiving.
You can't wallow in the overwhelm of parenthood or the crappiness that pregnancy can bring, because you just can't stay there because you know how lucky you are. And I think that really does help in those hard moments. And it also gives us the perspective of cherishing each child, because we would love to have a third. Chances are in our favor now that we could probably get pregnant, but we still look at it like these could be the only two, and so we try to treat it like these could be the last moments. We're experiencing the first this and that with Bryony. Like we experienced, Celia's whole life has been like this could be our only child, so we've really tried to look at it that way. One last thing I want to talk about, as a parent now who's gone through infertility, one thing we've talked about since Celia was conceived, and we knew that she was conceived, was that we wanted our children to know how blessed they are, how blessed we are that they are here, and we promised ourselves we would share their story early on. And so Celia, she's 2.5. She's known for a long time, first of all, that her name means heaven's grace, and we explained to her what that means in our journey, and that God specifically chose her for our family. And we've told her often that before she was born, we prayed and prayed and prayed to be parents, and the doctors told us we could not have babies, but then God gave you to us, and then God gave us Bryony. And she can tell us that whole story. She can repeat it back to us. And I think I want our kids, I just think it's an extra way to tell our children that they are loved, that there's a creator that loves them and designed them specifically because we are Christian. I think it's one way when you have gone through infertility to teach your children that, because the odds in this earthly world were not for that child. Like, the odds were really good that they weren't ever going to be here, and here they are. And I just think it's a really important thing for us to teach our kids that, and they can see God's love through their creation, specifically because of what we went through. Not that, you know, every kid is a miracle. I truly believe that. But when you've gone through infertility, I think it's just a way to show, like, science says you shouldn't be here, and here you are. That's why there's a God, kind of thing. So, anyway.
So in conclusion, guys, we still pray and think about the people who can't conceive or have been trying and have faced, you know, infertility kind of like we have. By any means, we are just still like on the fence about what could for the next child, you know, like like she said, we're still going to treat it like it may not happen again. And to really drive it home, we're never going to stop speaking about it, even if we have a clan of children, because there's so many people that can't relate, or like, you know, are looking for that support, and like, you know, we want to be there for,
and we don't want to be like, oh, okay, we had kids, so now,
and like, now goodbye,
good luck, you know, like it's something we're super passionate about spreading awareness on and talking openly about, because there's so many people hurting that don't feel ready to talk about it, don't want to talk about it. So we want to help speak about it for them.
Exactly. And yeah, guys, if you guys have any questions pertaining to our story or infertility or anything, please shoot us,
if you want to know more,
a message, you know, in the comments, you know, because this is something we very much care about so much. You know, and it's sad, you know, that's not everybody can have that baby that they've been wanting, you know, and kind of breaks our hearts, you know, but at the same time, it's like, also, if you guys never face that, please don't ever take your children for granted.
And
because
please be
people out there, like she said, that
to others,
are dying to have children and cannot. We don't want to end on a very sad note, but thank you guys for watching. As always, follow us on social media, check us out on Facebook, and stay tuned for more content videos on the way. We love you, Glue Sticks. Thank you for the community and support. It's awesome. We love you all.
See you soon. Bye, guys.